Hello and welcome everybody as we're loaded in for CLG Academy versus Golden Guardians Academy, and a very happy Valentine's Day to everybody in Twitch chat. I can't think of anybody I would rather be spending my Valentine's Day with as we watch these two teams duke it out. But I'm going to be honest, everybody, these teams have been struggling so far in this Academy season. CLG sitting 1-5, Golden Guardians Academy sitting 2-4 on a 4-game loss streak. They had such a great start to the season, going 2-0 in their first week, and now struggling in weeks 2 and 3. So a win here would feel amazing for them as they're taking on a very weak-looking CLG Academy. Again, full honesty here, this is a new squad too. They got Wind as their starting AD carry finally, but I'm questioning how much time they've had to practice with this guy in the bottom lane. They've been using Stixay so far, who has been performing fairly well in the Academy season, but now we get to see what this CLG Academy squad looks like for real. Wind, of course, coming in from Korea. Has played with Deus in the top lane before for BBQ Oliver, so there's a little bit of innate synergy there, and they're pairing it with Phil, but maybe some action here in the early game as Phil trying to spot out Gorka in his own jungle. But no early game shenanigans yet. Let's take a look at what these two teams have opted for in their draft. We see Golden Guardians with a new adaptation here. They're grabbing the Azir and the Sejuani. Both of these have received buffs on this most recent patch of 10.3. Most important to note is Azir himself gets a little bit extra base mana, so you can stay in lane for just a little longer. And also the ultimate has an additional soldier at all levels, so a little bit more consistent engage, and you can also find more choke points nowadays. And I'm curious what professional players will be able to find when you have 7 soldiers at that level 3 ultimate. That's a wide ultimate, Emperor's Divide. And then the Sejuani, of course, also getting some slight buffs, but then also the change to the passive. So now you lose that passive anytime you take damage from any monster in the jungle, not just the epic monsters. So potentially some harder early clear despite having that extra attack speed. But a focus from Golden Guardians seems to be on the late game here. They got the Azir and the Sejuani, and then the Xayah, of course, will scale very well. And CLG, when I look at their composition, while yes, they have some scaling options, they also have so many options to fight when they group up. And already this season, we've seen all the action happens around these major objectives. The Dragons, the Rift Herald, and the Baron are everyone's focus. So when you have an Ornn, you have a Braum, you have a lot of zone control with those two alone, and then also the Gragas who can go in for these combos with Orianna. CLG definitely looking to find those wombo combos during these groups team fights. But let's take a recap of what's happened so far in this early game as well, as Golden Guardians have found themselves a slight jungle lead right now, but Hard could be getting caught out by Frogis, who gonna clear out this ward. He knows that Hard is right there, but with Golden Guardians having to push bot lane, they can answer faster. Should just be the blue smite steal, but there we go. Hui actually goes in, has to burn the flash early with the Blaze Olive and Tuesday roaming over as well. Flash from Frogis, teleport coming in from both top laners already. Wind getting the damage onto Hard, but now Zion Spartan's joined in on the fight. Same with Deus. Flash forward, gets the knockup. Zion Spartan pulls them back together, and first blood for Gorka. Golden Guardians still want more though. Over the wall goes Hui, having a great season so far and earning more CC for his team, but Hard will fall at the end of that. Wind is able to kite away. Frogis, he's on some vision, not out of this one yet, but should be able to get away. Not a lot of flashes left on Golden Guardians, so they get the first blood. Does CLG want to turn this around? They don't know that he's right there. Oh, a Blaze Olive sniffs it out, says, something's fishy here. Decides to sidestep. But Golden Guardians, I like that type of invade. I was talking about the jungle clear to start that all off. Hard had a fantastic pathing going from topside to the Raptors, immediately to that counter jungle. Gets the blue buff to get the first blood. And now they're tracking Fragis as well. Zion Spartan able to spot out the Gragas right there with that ward placed down. This gives so much information to Hard, who has already been having a great early game so far. Will take this top scuttle. Got the bottom scuttle as well, and these are worth a lot of experience. So yeah, there we go. Hits level 4 as Fragis is still level 3. At least you can say CLG were able to answer with a kill of their own, that kill going over to Wind. So both AD carries netting themselves one of those. And the individual that did fall was Hard, so he just gets that faster back to the base. Fragis going for that top jungle clear now himself. And if we are looking for action in the early game, I definitely expect it to be on the bottom half or the mid half of this map. I don't expect any ganks onto Set, and I don't expect many ganks onto Ornn either. So whenever the junglers head up there, could be a bait for us. Could be that they're going for something that we're not expecting, but It doesn't surprise me to see that action on the bot side because of how much CC and damage both of these teams have at that stage. What did surprise me was how quickly both of them were willing to TP. It was Zion Spartan pulling the trigger first with that early TP, and then Deus following up, so that's what helped Golden Guardians get that first blood and secure that first kill. So now we see Gorka gonna try and capitalize on this. Phil attempting to stop the back, but good from Huhi. And gets the back too. That's the Zaya Recon lane, everybody. You gotta love it. But this does allow Wind to push in this wave, and there is a dragon spawning. If Tuesday can get control of this wave as well, this could be CLG going for an early dragon, but they might not actually want to go forward with that call. They're just going to take the plate for now. Will Wind be close enough? There we go. That's worth a lot right there. CLG feeling fantastic. Again, Wind's first game in Academy with this roster. Had a lot of visa issues to get here. Stixay had to fill in, but this is now CLG Academy that we're hoping to see. This is the full roster of all 5 members that were meant to be here from the beginning. And Phil, Wind already having a good laning phase for themselves. They get that first turret plate. They're tied in kills, but the first blood bonus allows Gorka to get that BF sword as well as the boots. So in terms of just pure stat checking, Gorka definitely can output a lot of damage at this point in time. And it's always dangerous to get aggressive against the Zaya Rakan duo. But CLG, they don't need to get aggressive in these lanes necessarily. It's all about controlling the lanes. It's keeping pressure so the Fraggus doesn't get caught out in the jungle and you can answer at these objectives. But already Golden Guardians have the inside track. They get the push mid first, and they already have hard here with the push on the bottom side. So they are going to be the team that starts up the first Infernal Drake of the game. Fraggus on the completely opposite side of the map. He's getting some counter jungling. And you got to imagine that this was CLG just saying, okay, we're just going to give that to them. Because Fraggus already this deep in the enemy jungle, it signals to me that they thought that the gold onto the Gragas was worth more than the dragon itself. Or maybe they just didn't feel they were in a position to contest it. Either way, that's a good early neutral objective picked up for Golden Guardians. A lot of veteran players on this team. Huhi, Zion Spartan. 2 players that have had a lot of experience with each other as well, and Hui's just been having a great split on support. Not often that you see a role swap work out so well for a player, but Huhi was always a very supportive player to begin with, so happy to see him now getting comfortable on the likes of these melee supports. We've seen a lot of Braum from him, now seen the Rakan as well, being the primary engage for the team here along the side of Hard. But they get the push on the bot side. I'm wondering if they'll want to keep pushing forward for any plates, because they also have Hard down here. Could look for a dive. Only level 5 on Wind and Phil, but that flash is about to come up on the Braum, so they're just going to be happy with the push right now. I'm just questioning what the goal was for Fraggus doing that deep invade on the top side. You got 2 camps away from your opponent, but you lost one of your own on the bottom side, or at least some vision control as Hard did drop that ward down. But look at this. Tuesday's roaming over 2. Very low on mana. Not going to be able to provide too much here, but Fraggus, yeah, he's just going to have to smite it away. The plan was to give that to Tuesday, you have to imagine, but because Hard is there, just the presence of this Sejuani prevents Tuesday from getting that. Now going to be very low on mana, and Zion Spartan catching out Fraggus. Gotta watch with bated breath here. Does Fraggus actually face check that? He's going to walk forward. He's on a ward, so Zion Spartan could look for it, but now wants to back off and go back to get that juicy looking top wave here. Overall, though, gold lead definitely in favor of Golden Guardians at this point in time. Solo lane, top lane, doing fantastic with CS as well as the bottom side. And CLG taking some awkward backs here. They're actually going for an early Rift Herald swap, so they drop Deus in the bot lane. He's going to have the teleport in just a few seconds' time. So they want to get this Rift Herald. They want to get the gold that comes with those turret plates if they can turn the Herald into those plates. We've seen a lot of teams not be able to actually capitalize on it. This strategy originated back with the old Clutch Gaming roster in the summer, and now it's, if anything, just gotten worth more as there's 2 Rift Heralds. So if you're able to pull it off once, ideally you'll get the gold to buy items so you can pull it off again, but you still have to be willing to pull that trigger, and time again we see teams get this Herald and then wait to drop it. And this is Golden Guardians dancing on the other side of the map. So they say, yeah, okay, we see them on bot side, we know that they're going for the Rift Herald, so let's just send 3 members down here. Deus cannot collect this wave. They have 4 people. They might just take this turret by itself. There's Deus dropping the ultimate Call to Forge God just to try and clear out the wave. But this is plate after plate going to the side of Golden Guardians. The only difference being that they're sharing it right now. Whereas can CLG get it on the top side? Yeah, they drop the Herald right away. I like to see this play from Counter Logic Gaming Academy. There's no reason to go for this and not drop it, because you see 4 members of Golden Guardians on the bot side. It will be a turret race, but Golden Guardians just that far ahead. I don't know how much the Herald will actually accelerate this. Oh, it's close, but the more members you have around a turret, the more armor it has this early in the game. So CLG might just be able to take this. It's a race for sure, but I gotta, yeah, there we go. Golden Guardians, 4 members, that's just too much. So while both teams hand shook and said, all right, we're gonna go for the race, CLG again do not come out on top. They lose the first kill, their first kill blood, as well as the first turret blood. Golden Guardians having a very, very strong showing in the early game. They definitely have a stronger understanding of rotations and where they need to be at any given time. That push from Blaze Olive on the bot side does allow Tuesday to catch up in CS in the mid lane. So hopefully we'll not be falling too far behind, but it's just incredible to see. Blaze Olive spent so much time bot side and is still tied in CS with his mid lane opponent, cashing in on some of those turret plates that went to everybody on the team. And with that bottom turret gone, this means more control around these dragons. It's not going to be an Infernal Soul. It's not going to be a Cloud Soul. So that means either Ocean or Mountain. If you're on the side of Golden Guardians, you definitely want that Ocean Drake. Set is a terror. Sejuani is a terror when you have that. It's just so hard to actually kill these tanky, beefy members. But CLG might be looking for a play here. Winter's Bite does miss onto a Blaze Olive, but they have other members around. If Fragus wants to look for something, just wasting time though. Golden Guardians not giving them the opportunity. There's no reason for them to check on that side of the map, because what they want to do is give vision priority around this dragon. It's going to be spawning in 15 seconds, and there's no vision from CLG in this area. CLG just trying to gain control of this mid lane, but Golden Guardians are not afraid. They say, all right, we're just going to fight you. Hard looks for the engage, doesn't commit with the full ultimate. But CLG, we see just how scared they have to be right now. If Golden Guardians run at them, they have the completed Essence Reaver on their Xayah, and Wind is sitting on components. So it's definitely going to be a stronger team fight at this point in time for Golden Guardians, which feels rough for CLG. They're the ones that drafted this composition that seems so strong in these choke points. But here's the initiation from Golden Guardians. They lock him down, and Wind falls. Teleport coming in from Zion Spartan as well as Deus. The Shockwave doesn't connect onto any members. Called Forge God does knock up 2, but CLG cannot find the re-engage. Golden Guardians will claim the kill and get the dragon. Beautiful from Golden Guardians. They see they're in, and who he goes for it. Drops the quickness, battle dances in. Is able to get a double knock up, and Hard rather following up with the ultimate from Sejuani means that CLG just get deleted. Wind in his first game in Academy. Welcome to NA, man. We like to play our Sejuani. You're locked down for days and just gets deleted off the map. And that kill also going over to Gorica means Golden Guardians are in a fantastic position in this transition to the mid game. They've already taken a turret. They've taken 2 dragons for themselves now, and it will be that Ocean Drake, the Ocean Soul. And CLG gotta be sweating a little bit right now. It's not Infernal, but it's definitely heating up here, as they are down in gold, but actually not too much gold as you take a closer look at that. A lot of that CS catching up in the mid lane, but it doesn't feel like they are, again, because of these key item power spikes being hit by members of Golden Guardians. They have a completed item on the Azir. They have a completed item on their Xayah, and because of these power spikes, they're able to just bulldoze through CLG. CLG, they're going to have to utilize their combos. They have hard engage. They have the ability to blow up members in team fights with the likes of Tuesday, Shockwave, Fragus catching a member out. Just got to find those members. There's Winter's Bite. Fragus, you're actually going for this. That's deep in enemy territory. Throws out the explosive cast. Can't find Gorica. Actually does, but doesn't get him close enough to the team, rather. So CLG, they're looking for it. I give them credit, and that's something about this organization, whether it's the Academy team or the LCS team. They are playing aggressive, and they're playing to make plays themselves. I haven't yet seen CLG lose passively. When they lose, it's usually them just getting way too aggressive and losing a fight that they probably shouldn't have taken, or just misplaying it. But at least that's you know, a style that is conducive to getting wins eventually. If you just play passive, you just slowly bleed out, but when you go for plays like that, maybe you make it work, and that's exactly what CLG needs to do. But Golden Guardians, they're fine with a long game. They're fine with not getting too aggressive, and they're honestly fine with playing the objectives too at this point in time. They're just grouping up, making sure that they have deep vision in CLG's jungle. CLG has those 2 deep wards on the top side, but that's not doing too much, as there's really no reason for Golden Guardians to be at that point in the Rift. The Golden Guardians with full control over the map objectives. Vision everywhere, just lit up, and this will allow them to get this top turret. Wise of Tuesday to back off. They have no sight of anyone from Golden Guardians, and you have all your members on the bot side. That means you got a big target on your back, so we'll back off. This will be a free objective for Golden Guardians Academy. They send the rotation up, and they're able to collect that gold. That's 2 turrets to 1 now. They're just slowly growing this gold lead and even pushing in this mid turret. CLG's had a lot of interesting backs, interesting rotations here where they just back and lose out on what seems to be a lot of experience, a lot of minions. At least Fraggus is able to clean up this one, you know. Toss a coin to your jungler, everybody. Oh, Rift of plenty, but here we go. Does Fraggus want to go for it? Drops the Predator, but can't actually commit to it, as he did spot him on a ward, so backs off immediately. And now CLG, oh, they're very far forward. Here's engagement from Zion Spartan onto Phil, flash away, but the battle dance, the Emperor's Divide! Golden Guardians find CLG, and they decimate them in the team fight. A beautiful initiation from a Blaze Olive and Huhi, but do they want more? Call the Forge God comes through from Deus. No follow-up, doesn't even connect. Golden Guardians Academy. That was a thing of beauty. A Blaze Olive got in there and output the damage. They're gonna push this wave again. This will net themselves a Rift Herald, their first of the game, but already with a 3,000 gold lead, this should turn into another turret take eventually. And Golden Guardians looking to end this 4-game loss streak. They said enough. A lot of gold going on to Set, a lot of gold going on to Azir. So far it had been mostly on their Xayah, but now the other carries on the team cashing in during that team fight means that CLG, it's no longer a 1-threat team that they have to deal with. They can't just blow up the Xayah and hope for the best. They have to deal with 3 members that can really mess up Wynn's day if they're able to pre-fire onto this Aphelios. So Phil, a lot of pressure on this Braum, trying to keep Aphelios alive, and Wynn a lot of pressure on this player. Again, first game with CLG Academy. The visa issues were going on all season. Oh, Fraggus, does he find it? No, not gonna go for it. But Wynn with those visa issues. Ruff's debut in this game. There's still a chance to turn it around, but a full BF sword behind your lane opponent, but maybe they can turn it around with this Drake. They're sacrificing control of these lanes to get control of the Dragon. But look at Golden Guardians' response. They say, all right, you can just take your first Dragon of the game. We're going to drop the Rift Herald and take our 3rd turret. This will be all outer turrets, and CLG have no answer to get in here. Maybe they can look to engage, but Golden Guardians have vision. They have the inside track, and CLG have to go all the way around to stop this. No call to Forge God from Deus to look to engage. He's just walking for it, trying to be a tank. Yeah, their key ultimates are definitely down. They really only have the Shockwave and Explosive Gas if they want to go for something, and Golden Guardians just aren't letting them. They take 2 turrets, and with full control of the mid lane, are just daring CLG to do anything right now, but they go for the play onto Deus. That's a tanky Ornn, but they're able to burst him down. Fraggus to follow, gets pulled back, suppressed, dunked down as a Blaze Olive gets another kill. Beautiful macro from Golden Guardians. And then the ability to just start that team fight. They're impressing me during this game and definitely looking more like their 2-0 start than their 0-4 last 2 weeks. CLG just do not have an answer right now. They thought that the Dragon was a good call, and I like the concept, but Golden Guardians had the perfect answer. Just drop the Rift Herald mid, hard commit to that, because what are they gonna do? They don't have Ornn ultimate, they don't have Braum ultimate, so they cannot stop us from just running this down. The classic mid lane play, but Tuesday might have just found the miracle play for himself. Gets a kill onto Hard and almost chucked down a Blaze Olive as well. I'm curious what the setup was for that, but Tuesday trying to keep CLG in this as best as he can. This Orianna definitely known for being able to catch members out of rotation. It's never over till it's over for CLG fans. They still have an opportunity to fight their way back with these combos that they have, but if Golden Guardians is able to survive their initial initiation and then also count down these cooldowns, make sure that they know when they're able to fight and avoid the combos from CLG like they have been doing so far, this game seems done and dusted. A 5,000 gold lead a lot of that on the carries, and now we see the Trinity Force completed for Zion Spartan, so this set is going to be punching even harder at this point of the game. And Golden Guardians also just have the scaling composition. Let's just remind everybody of that. So CLG Academy, 1-5 start to the season. They're trying to turn it around. They picked up their first win last week. They were hoping for their first win with their new 80 carry win, and they're trying to get it with a push in the mid lane right here. This is a good move for them. They finally get another objective, a little more gold into their pocket, but they're putting themselves in a vulnerable position to be engaged on hard. Looking for it, he jumps forward. This is the Sejuani. They can't really engage on just this member. Beautiful Billow's Breath from Deus, and look at Fragus. They didn't actually spot this Gragas on the flank. I don't think they care. I think Golden Guardians just want this inhibitor. They're going to go for the turret, dropping the Azir turret mid as well. They're escorting the minions in, but they still haven't spotted Fragus. There's the ward. He knows that he's seen at this point in time, so Golden Guardians will back off. It's difficult to wave clear against the likes of an Ornn and an Orianna and an Aphelios and a Gragas, so while the play seemed like it was, hopeful, at the end of the day, CLG successfully defended their middle inhibitor turret, but that's really all they can do right now. Defend. Again, look at where the vision lies. It is all Golden Guardians. They get these wards down on the top half of the map, and Baron just spawned, so they have control of the Rift, and they can decide when they want to go for these objectives. CLG will be fully reactionary unless they're able to fight their way back in here. And as I say that, that's what CLG is doing. They're trying to get any vision they can on that side of the map. They want to at least spot out Golden Guardians if Golden Guardians are rotating around there. Even if Golden Guardians clear out that vision, CLG will be able to see, okay, they just cleared that out. We know they're there, but looks like Golden Guardians opting for the reset instead. A little early to make a play around that Baron, so I'm expecting action to happen again around this Dragon next. It's coming up in a minute. So all that time spent on the top side of the map for CLG to get some vision down just meant less time for them to drop these wards on the bottom half, and that's where Golden Guardians are going. We see pings all around the bot wave. They want to push that in with Zion Spartan, and they also want to group up here. They have all 5 members on this half of the map. They're just so far ahead of all these rotations over CLG Academy. Tuesday was topside to push out that wave and does have the teleport, but it's just going to take you a little bit longer to get back here. They need to establish control of this mid wave. CLG, they're walking forward to try and clear it out, but Wind just takes a chunk from a Blaze Ala. That's a chalky Azir, everybody. Already 2 items completed, and one of them being the Banshee's build, so Fragus can't even necessarily use that explosive cast to try and get a long distance engage. You're going to have to blow up that shield first. But yet again, Golden Guardians, they have control around here. Good Winter's Bite from Phil takes down the Banshees. But Golden Guardians are not afraid. They can just easily clear out these minions. They still have all of that vision line around the Dragon. And they still have the ability to fight. CLG are entirely on the back foot. They have the composition that can make the Wombo combo happen, but really you want to do that on somebody caught out of bounds, but Golden Guardians not giving them that opportunity, and it's just a Blaze Olive solo taking on this Dragon. 3rd Drake of the game picked up for Golden Guardians. They're 1 Dragon away from Soul. On Soul Point means that the pressure's on for CLG. They didn't want this game to go super late anyway, so they gotta find something to do quickly. Catch a member of Golden Guardians out of rotation. Be proactive with your ward usage and try and keep control of this mid wave, because so far Golden Guardians have been doing all those things. CLG doing what they can. Golden Guardians. A mark of a good team is how quickly can you end with a gold lead, and 6K ahead at 24 minutes. They got to be looking to do something soon here. They have members grouped around this Baron. They're fully ready to just burst that down with the likes of an Azir and a Xayah. Sejuani taking it up. But I guess they're not in any big rush right now. They just want a little more vision control of this top half of the jungle. They're taking away some of these camps so CLG doesn't have them. But honestly, if they just went for this Baron, I think they could take it right now. CLG have no one in the area. They're not even checking it right now, just now pinging it. So they're going to have to walk forward. But Golden Guardians, they just want to make sure they're in the best position to fight if it comes to that. Zion Spartan goes for the reset. He's able to pick up the full Sterix gauge. Teleport available, can join in if need be. And more resets coming in from Golden Guardians. So they don't want action yet. They're happy to just say, okay, we have this gold lead. We don't need to throw it away by going for anything too eager. My assumption is that they'll wait until they can go for that dragon, get the dragon soul, and then look for the likes of Baron. This early in the game, that Baron can still be a little scary to go for, despite how much damage and tankiness that they already have. And teleport from CLG. Okay, Tuesday just comes in here. They're spotted out by that River Scuttle. You gotta imagine they realize that, but Tuesday getting engaged out by Hard. Golden Guardians, do they want this flash wave from Hard? They don't want to actually fight. They just want to buy time for Zion Spartan, who's taking down that bottom turret. I like that from Golden Guardians. Sometimes you see, okay, teams too willing to take a fight, and they just force it when they didn't need to. That was a rare instance where Golden Guardians actually back off and say, nope, we have the side lane play. Let's just go for that instead. CLG, they looked for something. They didn't find it, and they pay the price. Another turret going over. That's 5 now to Golden Guardians. And yet again, Golden Guardians have full control around this Baron pit. I'm just questioning what the play from CLG was as it plays all going for 1v1 against Tuesday. Shockwave will do some damage, but mostly just allow Tuesday an avenue of escape. Blaze Olive does so much damage right now. And unfortunately, that Orin upgrade on Luden Zeko, one of the least gold efficient upgrades, if not the least gold efficient upgrade for Orin. So Tuesday, despite having that extra little bonus, still not feeling that strong in a 1v1 against the likes of Azir. So much DPS, so much consistent damage that a Blaze Olive can be putting out in these trades. But at least CLG do have some vision down at this point in time. That's what they were really fighting for all game. If we even go back to the early game, it just feels like the jungle control from Golden Guardians has been more impressive. They've had more wards down, higher vision score on most members outside of Phil. That's classic support, man. You know, Huhi, you'll get there. I have faith, man. You'll get there eventually. As a fellow support man, it takes a while to get that stat up there. But that's the name of the game for Golden Guardians at this point in time. Dropping the vision down and looking for where they can fight next. This Dragon's going to be up in another minute and a half. They're willing to play the side lane game. They're willing to disengage rather than taking every fight available to them. And that is what you like to see from a team that has this kind of lead. You don't have to go for the fight. I'd like to see it eventually. I want to preface it by saying that. Eventually, Golden Guardians should look for something here. They had the Sejuani and the Rakan for the hard engage, and they also have the vision control, but CLG, time and time again, are just able to walk forward, and Golden Guardians just give it over. They walk back, kite away, and allow CLG to take this River Scuttle 50 seconds before Dragon's about to spawn. That's pretty good for Counter Logic Gaming Academy, who got that mid lane control and now have the option to make a play. This is what they want to do with their comp. They're going for the Fnatic Death Brush. Golden Guardians, they're sniffing it out, though. They don't want to throw a lead like this off of one poor play. Does CLG want to go for it, though? It's a 5v5. They're so down on gold. They're still looking, and it's just hard that they can engage on. It's so difficult to actually stop Golden Guardians. They're just walking forward, pushing out. A Blaze Olive trying to be annoying with these Sand Soldiers. And FCLG, yet again, pushed away from Prio around this dragon. So Golden Guardians, it's an awkward little dance. We've seen this a lot. I like to call this the Academy Scuttle, Academy Doohig. I don't know. It's a concept still. You know, we'll come up with the final name eventually. But these teams just dancing around these objectives. No one willing to actually hard engage. But here we go. Golden Guardians looking for it. The Shockwave onto 3 members. CLG might have just found their fight. They're going for Fraggus deep into enemy lines. But look at Zion Spartan buying so much time for Golden Guardians. They take down Fraggus. Zion Spartan will fall in the meantime, but Golden Guardians will easily win the fight. 5-0-5 for a Blaze Olive. Golden Guardians come out on top. CLG, they wanted it. They thought they had their initiation. Even with a 3-man Shockwave, they just couldn't pull it off. I believe Fraggus's explosive cast was just barely on the wrong side of those 3 members, and it knocks them all away. If that had knocked them all towards CLG, that could have been a very different fight. But regardless, Golden Guardians capitalize on that play. They get their Dragon Soul. They're going to be able to sustain all the way back up to full health. And with 2 inhibitors down, Counter Logic Gaming Academy are staring down the barrel of their 6th loss of the season. And Golden Guardians are looking to end their 4-game loss streak. This feels so good for this squad, who again started off so strong. Multiple veteran players that have played in LCS before. We got the Zion Spartan name change, everybody. Good to see them finding their groove yet again. And what a performance from a Blaze Olive. This Academy player, he's been playing on TSM Academy for 2 years under Bjergsen. That's a long amount of time to spend under a player with such pedigree. You definitely learn a few tricks. The Blaze Olive showing what he can do on this recently buffed Azir, but now Golden Guardians might be looking for even more. CLG, they just wanted to look for vision on the Baron, but a Blaze Olive with the play yet again. Zion Spartan follows it up beautifully, and Golden Guardians just decimate Counter Logic Gaming. They take all members down 5-0, and they're gonna end their 4-game loss streak. Golden Guardians can just march these super minions into CLG's base. They don't even need the Baron. What a performance from Golden Guardians. Zion Spartan's back. A Blaze Olive has joined the chat as well, and Golden Guardians will end that 4-game loss streak and go 3-4.